My name is Muhammad Nakim. I am a Rohingya and genocide survivor. I am a representative of Arakan Rohingya Society for Peace and Human Rights (ARSPH). I was born and raised in Burma. I left my country Myanmar in 2017 due to the genocide operation against Rohingya people in Arakan state. I lived more than 5 years in the world's largest refugee camp located in Bangladesh, Cox's Bazar. I was recognized as a forcibly displaced Myanmar national by Bangladesh government. Since I became forcibly displaced Myanmar national in Bangladesh, like as a refugee, I have been keep fighting to bring a positive changes for my community. I left my country during the military operation started in 2017 when I was 20 years old. This is a very long story behind why the Rohingya people left the country. This is because of discrimination and the suffering that the Rohingya people face from the government of Myanmar. We can say that there is separate law especially for the Rohingya people that make the Rohingya people suffer more than any other ethnic group lives in Myanmar. Rohingya people have been suffering from those things for many decades. In 2017, we heard that there was an operation led by Myanmar military that killed the Rohingya people. We are also witness and seeing the operation on social media. We are the witness of the killings the innocent Rohingya women, Rohingya elders, Rohingya children in front of their parents, in front of their relatives. Finally, they were forced us to leave our village and then to leave our country to the neighbor ones, Bangladesh. Growing up, I didn't understand what we live under discriminating law. In my understanding, life is just like that. Others had powers, the right to travel everywhere, the right to education. Maybe it was not just for the Rohingya people. I didn't understand that the Rohingya people have been suffering, and it is not only me. Today I can see how Rohingya people didn't understand that they were suffering because of how the authorities structurally made the people feel. We can say that it is the structural genocide that have been taking place in Myanmar. We are the member of Rohingya community and we are forced to leave our country in Myanmar in 2017. Since the military coup started in Myanmar, the political, economic, humanitarian crisis in the country has grown more rare. Dictatorship is a notorious that eradicate human beings. The regime has been persecuting the Rohingya in Myanmar for decades. For people like ourselves, over 1 million people are displaced and forced to live in Bangladesh refugee camp till today. Conditions in Cox's Bazar camp in Bangladesh have significantly worsened. Rohingya children and youth have no access to the formal education. People are lacking to the clean water, a healthy environment, safety. Now the food ration cut by WFP World Food Program result in a devastating consequence. The unlivable condition in the camps and the reduction of food allowance has pushed many vulnerable Rohingya families to embark on dangerous journey in search of better future. They are also being compelled into engaging in illegal activity and vulnerable Rohingya women are being kidnapped and taking risks by themselves to travel to neighbor countries like Malaysia, Indonesia and Thailand wherever they feel safe. People of Rohingya community are being spread all over the world and remain for many decades with no identity. It was not just about in 2017, but many times since 90 that the Rohingya community has been forced to be refugee in Bangladesh and other countries. So the dire circumstances are forcing some impoverished family to accept the China's mediated pilot repatriation project right now. Repatriation is not a source of problems to create a war between, it's a solution as a whole community for the nation. For every situation, especially when it comes to the repatriation, the Rohingya community must be consulted in making decisions. People should have their own rights to choose. The decision for the repatriation should not be someone else's. Rohingya community, especially people of Burma, know their situation better than anyone else. Repatriation is not possible while even the people of Burma are not safe. The Rohingya community always want to be repatriated. But it's only when everything is sure, including being able to return to original homeland, being recognized as one of the ethnic groups with full identity and rights. But the military junta is still avoiding the Rohingya identity and clearly said people will keep in the concentration camp. So the Rohingya community don't want to go from camp to camp. They want to come to their original homeland where their home was located previously. The process of repatriation or finding a sustainable solution should not only involve Chinese mediation, but we Rohingya community want more participation from influential countries like United States, United Nations, along with Bangladesh, and others who cares about the human right. Additionally, we see the less reaction from international community to the Rohingya situation in the camp. The condition of the people really requires more involvement from the international community in order to be able to live peacefully while also needing more funding to meet life-saving assistance, including food and a quality of education for all. The unlivable condition in the camps and the reduction of food allowance has pushed many vulnerable Rohingya families to embark on dangerous journey in search of a better future. Most intend to reach Malaysia or Indonesia by sea, where there are much better conditions for the refugee and right. But this means risking their lives on a tiny boat for weeks. Unknown number of people have not survived and killed on the sea. The refugees in Bangladesh are also being compelled, engaging into illegal activity, and vulnerable Rohingya women are being kidnapped and taking risks by themselves to travel to the neighbor countries. The people of Rohingya community live vulnerable and stateless in many countries all over the world. Family has been separated for many decades. Many live with no identity in countries where they reside. Our risk journey out of Myanmar in pursuit of better lives, but did it start when the genocide agreed to speak in 2017? People have been fleeing persecution since 1990s, forced to be refugees in Bangladesh or elsewhere. These dire circumstances are forcing a few impoverished families to consider going back to Myanmar under the pilot repatriation project that has now been compelled by China. Repatriation to unsafe conditions in Myanmar, where we still have no rights, is not a real solution. Our people understand this and must be consulted in every decision-making process about the repatriation, about our collective future. Shockingly, no Rohingya person has ever been involved in the ongoing repatriation discussion between Myanmar, Bangladesh, UN, China, and other actors. Refugees should have their own right to choose when to go. The decision to the repatriation cannot be left to someone else. We as people of Myanmar know our situation better than anyone else. We know that repatriation is not possible and safe and sustainable as long as people who still live in Burma are not safe. The Rohingya community always wants to be repatriated. In fact, every one of us is desperate to go home. But we can only return when everything is stable. We must be able to return to our original homeland We must be recognized as rightful citizens of Myanmar. Our identity and rights must be respected. But today, these needs are not fulfilled at all. The military junta still avoids recognizing the Rohingya and said clearly the returnees will be kept to live in the encampments, not a real home. These places are nothing more than a concentration camp. In the short term, we see that the international community is not reacting appropriately to the Rohingya situation in Bangladesh camp. We need your involvement to make sure we can live peacefully while displaced. The humanitarian response needs sustained funding to ensure life-saving assistance, including food, health, especially education and safety in Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh. Looking toward the long-term solution, any dialogue and action taken on our issue should not lead by only China. We want more participation from the US, from the United Nations, Bangladesh, and other influential countries who care about the human rights. Most of all, like any other people, we Rohingya need a voice, a role in making decisions about our own future. There are many individuals and states working for the Rohingya people, but they must speak out and stand in solidarity to say that the inclusion of Rohingya is also a matter in every way. People are making decisions to the crisis of the Rohingya, but the Rohingya are being involved in making decisions. And that is not a good thing. Inclusion of Rohingya is very important. Thank you very much.